Harry AL with relative strength. Yeah, yeah, it's a nice pop in AL off of earnings, of course. But yeah, 52.40, 53.07. I got his resistance on it right now. Ear lease bounced off the VWAP and the 8 EMA. Let's take a look at that. Yep, sure did. Very nice, nice move here. Gap up on earnings, pretty flat, but this is a pretty nice setup right here in AL. Very nice. Probably needs to break 52.30. Yeah, which it has, of course. Again, I got 53.07 as a resistance level on it. Matt continuing up. Doug, isn't Wendy's due for a pullback? You think it's too far extended? Well, the 8 exponential on Wendy's right now is 12.45. 12.45. So yeah, it's pretty far extended. Trading at right now what 11.90, something like that. So about 55 cents of distance between the 8 and the 5 and the current price. The ATR is about 50 cents on it, so it's about 1 ATR. That to me, that's not too far extended. When it gets around 2 ATRs, then I would consider it extended, but not at 1. I mean, it could easily drop further from here. And you know, the price action is a pretty big red candle today. But you know, listen, if it starts to find support, we can take profits on this thing anytime today. But this is a nice setup for a short. You know, it may bounce back up again for a day or two, but this is a big downtrend on Wendy's. I mean, this is a pretty serious downtrend for this stock right here. You see where it's been coming down. So yeah, it is a little, but it's extended about 50 cents. ATR is about 50 cents. That's so I don't consider it extended too far. But you took profits and it says nothing. Listen, there's nothing wrong with pocketing money right now. I don't really have any support here on Wendy's to the downside for a good long ways yet. Let me see if I can find one. That AL that already pulled out is really a nice setup here. This AL keeps going. Again, it's too close to support to resistance for me. 53.07, but it's a nice move. All right, so if I go to Wendy's, let me go back and see if I can find a level. The next decent support level I can find on Wendy's, and there's quite a few candles around that area. It's around 10.35. That goes back to 2020. Yeah, nice looking at AL was a beauty. Wendy's still coming in. Philip Morris still moving up decently here. Again, Palantir still showing that good momentum. I can't start a stock like that. Tesla's also showing some momentum here, so I'm not touching any of these. SPY also looking pretty good here. Again, I did do a weekly ATM on Microsoft. I'm not going to post it. This is not a good market to be taking weekly ATMs, but I do like this Microsoft one. Again, I sold the 435s puts for this week, and I bought the 430 puts for June 20th. So give myself about 6 weeks of time. I don't expect to be in it that long. if I get a decent bounce this week, I'll probably take profits in it. I kept the spread pretty tight, $5, so I got a $500 risk per trade, per contract. That's a pretty tight spread on a Microsoft that's trading at $436. And market going up, Wendy's coming in. I mean, this is classic relative weakness in Wendy's. At the ATR on Wendy's, you show 48 cents. I use two different time frames on the ATR. I use a 10 range and a 10 day and a 20 day. I get the 10 day at about 38, and I get the 20 day at about 52. So I get it around 55 cents, something like that. 50 cents. It's close. Pennies don't matter. In other words, it's not too far extended. This thing would have to be at least $1 away from the from the 8 exponential moving average. We have to be at least $1 away from the 8 exponential mover average before I consider it extended. Again, this is a really tricky market to try to trade here right now today. Spike still kind of trying to move up. Again, we're still we're still well below the pivot point. We're in the gap. A little bit of a bounce in the market here. Still inside the gap from the gap down this morning, but it's a pretty nice little move right here. Again, as the market moves up, we'll see what Wendy's does. Not doing much. Still get good relative weakness. Philip Morris bouncing up really nicely here. Just to point out, the KTTA that I took this morning as a momentum stock. Remember how nicely that was, moved up through the 100-day move, the 200-day moving average. Everything looked good. This is why these are so risky. See this? Look at what this thing has done here. It just dumped something horrible. Again, so this is why I don't recommend doing these unless you're fairly adept at trading, because you want to have some experience to do these things. And again, I took it here, and I'm out of it up in here, and look at this flush here, right here. So that's the it's a biotech, and that's the danger of these things. Just so you realize that it's not all upside on these things. That's a big downside on this one. SPY still creeping up. Next resistance on the SPY, 563.11. 563.11. About $1.50 away. I'm going to put a sell order for 125 on Wendy's in case we get there today. Tesla with some bouncing up here. Apple bouncing. A lot of stocks bouncing up. SPY again, nice little recovery here in the SPY. You can see where we're inside this gap. Gap down here this morning, pulled down a little bit, come back up through the VWAP, and we've been above the VWAP since right here, since about 10:10. Nothing big. I did take some profits in the SPY super system right here through this 15 break, but now it's just kind of moving sideways. And again, pivot point right here, which is pretty close to the gap fill. So market moving slowly sideways, drifting up just a bit. Q's right here. Wednesdays with a little bit of a bounce with the market. Still a nice short setup. Palantir still showing some strength after it really pounding this morning. Tesla up, also moving up here, and the Target also moving up. These are stocks that are relatively good short setups. Philip Morris still up here nicely. About what's that? 0.4%, a little bit. That's a nice. That PM we've got is a very nice setup, and whether it'll work or not, who knows? But it's a very nice setup. Yeah, William, I did that weekly ATM. Listen, I haven't done one of those in a long time, and the reason is you really do need a neutral to bullish market, or certainly a neutral to bullish stock. The reason I took Microsoft is I've had really good results with Microsoft in the past, trading the weekly ATMs on it. All I really want is for it to compress for a week or more, a little more than a week, and I'll be happy with that because I'll take profits on it. I wouldn't generally be doing them right now, but I did take Microsoft. The daily chart was a nice, after earnings it gapped up. It has just been moving pretty much sideways, and I did a pretty tight spread on it, so the risk is pretty minimal. About 11:40 here right now. Let's see if we got questions over there in the YouTube. Pat's Nation, you got Pepsi 136 puts for 5.9. All right, expiring, that's this week. For 4.62, they're at $5 right now, getting close to expiration. I bought a 70 Delta, and now it's 95. If I still like the short, would it be best to exit and re-enter a further out expiration? You know, I would in this market. You're in the money pretty nice on those. About almost $5 in the money. But with just 3 days to go, I'd be much more comfortable rolling it out 2 or 3 weeks if you wanted to stay short this. It's really not too far extended, but you do have profits in it. I think I'd take them. And then, you know, if you go out a couple more weeks, 3 weeks on the next expiration, then if it keeps going down, you'll be adding to your profits. You're just going to have to pay more for the put. Nice trade. I wish I had been out to 5.9 instead of 5.2 on Pepsi. We'd have been we'd also would have made money. SPY still inside the gap here. Q's as well. not a lot of movement here in the market. We're back up. We're into the gap. You know, where the market gapped down this morning, right here. Pulled back below the VWAP, came back up through the VWAP. Decent little move here, and then just very, very compressed. Very, very compressed right now. Okay, I was watching Palantir for a potential short on this thing, but right now, momentum is finally turning down on Palantir. But this is pretty compressed, so I can't really take a straddle or a strangle because the price action is too compressed here. But I do like it short, but I don't. The setup's not there for me yet. Same thing in Tesla. I like short, but the setup's not there for me yet. And it's about 10 minutes to 12. Coming in here now. It's a good little short setup in Tesla here. It does have support at 270.84, 270.84 in Tesla. That's the 15-day moving average. Palantir also setting up short here. gotta be careful here with Palantir. Definitely short setup here, but it needs to stay below 107.69. And Tesla, I'm not going to short it. I like a short, but I'm kind of close to the support level of 270.84, basically 271. So that's not only 2 points on Tesla. That's not enough downside to justify any kind of a bounce here. Alright, see if we get some questions. Okay. Shia took PM off for a small profit on that tiny pop. Don't really better be long here. I don't blame you. PM's a pretty nice setup though. You know, we're slight profits on it right now. It's still a nice setup on PM. This is an all-time high in Philip Morris today. Moving up too slow for your taste. Set up an alert on ABBV for a break of 200. Break of the 200 in ABBV. Oh, break of $200 of the 200. Oh, I see it. Yeah, it's right. The 200 and the 100 are almost right together. Yeah. Yeah, 200 and the 100 are just about equal. The 200 is at 189.10, and the 100 is 189.36. For like break below there would give you some resistance, some room down to 182. Let's buy with a little bounce here. I'm not going to mess around with anything right now. Tesla is okay for short, but it just doesn't have an awful lot of more downside space to it. 270.84. It's got $2. Wendy's still trading at around 11.90. Again, I got a sell order on this thing at $1.25. I take 20% today. If I get 20% one day in this stock, I'd be happy to, especially in this market. There's Tesla coming in. Again, I like Tesla short here, but I'm not going to trade it. I get too close to the next support level. Palantir also coming in here. SPY starting to fall back toward the VWAP. Pat Station, you really want to buy a leap puts on the SPY? Yeah, they're very expensive when you go out that far, sure. for in the money puts. I don't know. I mean, that, if you think of the market is gonna turn that bad from a year from now, or however many months you're going out in that thing, you're looking for the market to roll over. Probably, if you really think it's going to roll over, then it's better. I think it's probably better to buy relatively inexpensive ones, which of course would be out of the money. I don't usually do leaps, so I'm for me to try to figure out what the market's going to do in 6 or 8 months, when I'm having trouble figuring out what it's going to do in 6 to 8 minutes, is I just don't trade. I don't trade leaps, but I know a lot of people do, and you know, you'd be giving, and especially if you take a small position in it, you're giving yourself some nice downside, not protection necessarily, but you're figuring that the market's going to fall down. You know, we're down quite a bit this year already, so I don't know. I can't give you a lot of recommendations here. I think if I was going to buy a leap, I would probably buy an out of the money leap just for a speculative trade. In the money is going to cost quite a bit. You think out of the money puts are risky? Listen, if with a leap, it's either going to work or it's not going to work. So it's not like out of the money and in the money is going to make a big difference a year from now. It's either going to work or it isn't going to work. And if it works, the out of the monies will make a better ROI. It's just that, you know, I never touch anything out of the money normally except for lottos. But going out that far in time, I don't know that there's a big difference, to tell you the truth. Tyson Foods coming down. I do have puts on that. SPY just really choppy here. Pulled back pretty hard now, just kind of. Again, I have to be careful. I did like Tesla short, but again, it was too close to support for me to take it, and I didn't want to try to chase it here on these candles, so I didn't take it. I would have preferred Palantir. Right now, I'm not doing anything. Summit was a pretty good pullback here today. tomorrow, still up about 40 cents. PayPal down 6 cents. Again, Wendy's position trading at 11.90 right now. So we're getting intrinsic of about $1.10 on that. We need to drop to about 11.75 to 11.80 would get us out for a profit on Wendy's. SPY just chopping here now. Tesla's still coming down. Getting closer and closer to the support level on Tesla.
In the news desk is a link to the Trump bilateral meeting with Canada that's being posted in the news desk.
Trump's meeting with Carney of Canada, by the way, today. So watch out for news headlines. Tesla again, 270.84 is a support level on Tesla. Tesla and Palantir still a little too extended for me right now. But I like Palantir because I have a level of support on Palantir at 107.69. gap here now. Not touching these right now. It's too risky for me. Reddit breaking down here. Harry just took Reddit. Reddit's got a little gap that it filled. I don't know that that's useful anymore. Breaking down below the 8 and the 15 right now on Reddit. They had some negative news this morning. Cautious news, I guess you would say.
Trump says we'll have a very big announcement before Middle East trip. That's Trump says, once again, we'll have a very big announcement before Middle East trip.
Tesla with a bounce. Again, that's why I was too concerned. They were too close to the support level for me to touch it. And Palantir and Trump now saying he's going to have a big announcement before his Middle East trip. Again, this is the kind of rhetoric and news you get every day right now. News blurbs, tweets, press releases. This market's running on news. That's what it's doing, and it just reacts to everything. Again, I don't really want to jump into this meat grinder. Palantir also bouncing again. Didn't want to touch him just because of this.
Trump says we'll possibly start to renegotiate the USMCA. We are seeing strength in markets as Trump is currently speaking. Markets did pop when he said.
As I said, Trump was speaking in the meeting with Carney from Canada. So there's going to be some positive spin stuff coming out here for a bit, and the market reacts to it. The algos react to this stuff every single time. So that's why you don't want to look at Tesla. Look at this move in Tesla.
Once again, we are seeing a volume push to highs following Trump's comments.
Wendy's not reacting too much. A couple pennies. $11.95. Just bouncing with the market here right now. Again, I just kind of let this run its course. again, these big candles like this, you don't want to trade these things. You want to just see what they do. Again, this is a meat grinder right now. People that jump on these things, it's a nightmare. I'm telling you, it's a nightmare. The algos touch it, grab it, everybody jumps on the thing. This is FOMO jumps in, and then wham, right back down again. You gotta just stay patient. Let these things play out. Don't get stuck into these. You know, again, talk is one thing. You have to see some action. So you have to see some trade deals being signed. There's got to be something more firm to help give this market some strength, either up or down. That's going to trend. Right now, this is just news, and it's just chopping all over the place. Yeah, you don't want to get into this stuff. It's really kind of funny if you're not trapped in any of these things. They might possibly start renegotiating the USMCA. Might possibly. Those are words that give you a really tremendous amount of confidence. So it's buy big bounce, Q's big bounce, Tesla big bounce, and then everybody's taking their profits. Yeah, no follow through in these big candles. You can see Wendy's not exactly ripping higher here. Microsoft with a pretty big move up. I might actually just take this thing off. See what I get for profits in that thing right now. Not much. About 12:20. About 10 more minutes. I'm going to grab something to eat.
Commentary by Trump says China wants to negotiate and we will meet at the right time. This is commentary out by Trump.
So there we go. There's the big bounce in Tesla. Probably was a good opportunity to actually short it right there at the top of that big green candle. Yeah, this is all rhetoric. This is no markets bouncing up. It's really not news. It's just comments. That's what's pushing all this up. That one big candle, but it's just one big candle, and then right back to where we started from. So pretty much that big bounce on the Trump statement has been completely wiped out here. It's almost right back to the VWAP again. Again, this is nothing but a trapping. These are trapping candles. You know, they get people all excited, and they're a trap. There's Wendy's coming back down again, just like we want to see.
Trump says the announcement over the next few days, not necessarily on trade. This is commentary out by Trump. Says the announcement over the next few days is not necessarily on trade.
Oh my goodness. Trump says the big statement that's coming out in the next few days is not necessarily on trade. It doesn't mean anything. The market is just reacting. This is algos reacting to statements. And don't get sucked up in this stuff. I mean, this is crazy. I'm gonna take some lunch here pretty soon. Philip Morris still holding in there very nicely. Pulled down with a big red candle, but up for the day still. Tesla, the chart's very nice, the daily chart. Tesla, just all over the place here. See if we got any questions here. Let's see, I'm going to again stop and get lunch here in just a minute. William, Palantir remaining flat. Yeah, it's up and down. It's still a decent. I think it's still a decent short. I if it wasn't for this news nonsense, I would try to take it short. But I'm gonna wait till some of this craziness subsides today. That's right, Cedric. It was a classic. All right. You have to remember this news that actually impacts things is actually stuff that has actually happened. You know, the market reacts to all kinds of speculation, but speculation doesn't hold the market up or down. It's only when something happens. For somebody to say I think we're going to get a trade agreement signed, that's not going to hold the market up. It's going to push it up, but it's not going to hold it up. Good time to take lunch and a Xanax. Cedric, listen, if you don't want to be in that kind of a position. I tell you, I've been through a lot of markets. This is about as crazy as it gets over right now. It's just yeah, algos. I don't know what they're trading off of, but they're trading off of comments, news, speculation, and they jump in and they jump out, and all it does is create a lot of emotion in traders. And focus on your daily chart. If you try to intraday trade, then you got to be careful. Be careful. Like if you were in short the Tesla here, and it whips up like this. If you've got a stop in there, you're blown right out of the water, and then it comes right back down again. This is a tough market to trade like this. We're chopping around here, pretty good. So I'm gonna get some lunch. This is this is not a warm, comfortable feeling here in this market. This is crazy. This is really crazy. This is just on talk. This is nothing major here. This is just talk. And Algos loved it, and then they sold it right off. So please don't get sucked into these kind of things. This might pretty much fill the gap for the day, I think, from this morning. Well, didn't quite fill it. It's pretty close. There it is right there. Yeah, pretty much filled the gap. The gap filled. So we'll see where it goes from here. I would not be putting a lot of money into longs right now. Watching Palantir for a potential short here. I still like Palantir for short. I like Tesla too, but like I said, it's too close to support for me. Palantir doesn't really have any close by support, so I would prefer that one as a short. I'm going to grab some lunch. I'll go ahead and shut down the YouTube feed. Thanks very much, everybody there in YouTube today. Appreciate it. We'll be back again tomorrow about 11, between 11 and 11:15. We'll just open it up and see what we can find. Again, a pretty crazy day here in the market. I mean, the SPY itself is gapped down and basically filled the gap. It's only down 0.4% right now, so it's bounced back up, and now it's giving back a bunch of that craziness here on this candle. So again, when you see one big candle like that, please don't jump onto those things. They got to be confirmed. Wait for confirmation. If you get two candles, it's a different story. But like this, just stay away from them if you can, unless you're just scalping it. All right, thanks everybody. YouTube, I'll go ahead and shut that down, and then I'm going to get some lunch.